Just going to mute Sam because he's munching. No,
and we've launched. Google has taken us live. All right, the Website One meeting. Mm-hmm. So
this is while Sam takes a drink there, I'll say that this is our new time here, and we got Bill joining us.
What's up, Bill?
All right, everyone.
Hey, Bill.
Hi.
So this is the relaunch of the new time for the Website One meeting, and what are we doing today? We're like, did anyone bring any tickets, by the way?
Oh, you needed a ticket?
No. So one of the things that we've done in the past to avoid us just like spending the meeting time working through the waffle is Michael suggested earlier in the year that we just bring any tickets that we need to get voted on to the meeting, and then we vote on them. And that's something that we've done successfully. At the moment, I don't know if there are any tickets that are outstanding that need to be voted. It's not a requirement to bring tickets, but it's certainly a good way if you've got something that's in the backlog of the waffle board that you want to get to start work on, then bringing the ticket to the meeting is a great way to do it. But we've actually improved the async voter now, so you can start an asynchronous vote in the channel rather easily now. I'm just looking to see if we've got any. It's also Will has joined us. Hey, Will.
Hey.
I'm just looking to see if we have any outstanding votes. It looks like we don't. Although the one that I was that I had there that Bill and I started about using login to connect accounts, looks like someone has gone ahead and clicked reveal on that before we could have an ongoing vote, which is a shame. I think you maybe introduce something that prevents people from clicking reveal before they have 3 votes on them. But
me.
Yeah, no worries. I guess we've got I think 2 key issues that are affecting us generally. One is that we don't have, although we have AirBrake in place, we commonly seem to have 500 errors occurring on the site, and we don't get any notifications about it. You can see here from the waffle board that very occasionally we do get things from AirBrake, but they consistently seem to be not the ones that we really care about. So that's kind of, I think, one of our most serious problems. We did just fix a 500 error that I think we did for Robert Schaefer that he encountered last week. Federico has just been encountering 500 errors on the site. He was just showing us in the Scrum. And that's kind of one of the most serious issues for us because, clearly when people are encountering this, it looks bad. It's a serious problem, and I think that it's partly related to big performance issues that we have on the site that I suspect that we could fix with a rebuild, but that's something that maybe we need to look into. But maybe the higher priority is getting something like AirBrake or Sentry set up properly so that it actually alerts us and gives us the important information about those failures. But so that's big picture. We've got lots of people here today, which is fantastic. Some people newer to the project than the others. Given that we've got a lot of people here, what the first thing on my mind is to try and make most efficient use of the time. So if nobody has a particular ticket to vote on, we might just go through where each person is and check for each person if anybody is blocked on anything on Website One, and then we can sort of work out how to maybe fix that, not necessarily involving everybody, because we want to be efficient of using everybody's time. So I'll just do what I do in many of these meetings, is just go get thing there, and I'll go along the board there. Ben, I noticed that you're just saying you've got a new pull request in on the feature that you're working on. That's fantastic. That'll be your first pull request on Website One. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's 1839 there at the very top of the ready list.
Right.
I'm not sure I followed protocol by claiming it or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's maybe something that we can look at quickly there.
Uh-huh.
And this is particularly for the new people getting involved. There are little bits and pieces here that are valuable to see how we use the waffle board. Yeah. So this is the ticket that Ben was working on there, and that's looking good. And so it's 1839 is the issue. So the thing that links everything up for us, and it would be great if we could add it to the template for that we have in here. So because the template's got lots of things, it doesn't mention the thing that we have in our contributing doc that says that we should add like this 1839 there to the end of the description.
Oh, to the end of it. Okay.
Well, it doesn't actually matter where it is. It could go.
Well, it's actually in the. All right. Yeah, I was confused as to what was being described as the description, because there's that one-liner.
Yeah. Sorry.
Which I included that text in. It fixes what I actually. I guess that's the title.
Yeah. So this is that's the interesting thing, is that the being in the title, it doesn't end up associating it, and so usually we so this is this like special magic that, I mean, one day it will all just be sort of, so you can now see as a result of me having made that change. So the ticket here is set like this. Now, if they'd been associated previously when the pull request came in, Waffle would have automatically moved that into the in progress column for you.
I see.
But this is like, it's all learning the ropes, and no criticism of you whatsoever. Just what it is can we work out how to make the instructions better? I think that definitely we could. I don't know even where those templates exist.
Yeah, because it says put this in the description, and then there were these sort of involved templates, which told you what to do, but it didn't mention that. So I thought, well,
yeah. So somewhere in here we've got those templates, and I don't know where they are, and I shouldn't go and search them for them now. The templates that when you open a new pull request, that it draws this. Yeah, we're going to see it. Sort of template for you. Anyway, but so you're saying this is still a work in progress. It's not ready to be reviewed just yet.
Well, I think I've finished it.
Oh, great.
It's just that the robots are.
Okay. Yeah, and in that case,
they say it takes a long time because it was last night that I submitted this PR here.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And so by the robots, you're referring to the continuous integration.
Yeah, the CI. So there's 3 levels, I guess. The fast, if you scroll down, you can see how the code climate is still.
Yeah, and I would say that, I mean, actually, it's been Coveralls that's been doing crazy stuff recently. I mean, I don't know that it's even accurately reporting what our coverage is. I mean, there was one gem that I updated recently, and then as a result of the gem update, it like massively dropped the coverage. And Semaphore is the one that's kind of key. Right. But so I
was a little bit dismayed to see that coverage decreased by 0.3%, because I wrote a lot more test code than I wrote actual code.
And I would like, this is another thing. I don't think this is necessarily telling the truth.
Okay.
So we may sensibly want to switch that off. What I'll do here is so I've merged in another Dependabot automated gem thing. I'm going to update the branch here, and that'll re-kick this build off and sort this out. But yeah, so you're basically ready for a review there, and I guess potentially looking for a new ticket to work on.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So, and if there are any questions about the process, of all these, everybody should be able to have access to this waffle board. I guess one of the things I noticed there that we don't have Ben assigned to that, although that's what's supposed to happen is, and is that because we haven't?
Should I have done that myself?
No, I think it would have happened automatically when you pushed a branch that started with 1839. Gotcha. But I think the situation that we have there is that you're maybe not on the website one team, which is one of the reasons why some people prefer not to use Waffle, is because it requires people to have been explicitly added to the team. Whereas if you're using Pivotal Tracker or Trello, it's then a whole separate system. So if we go in there now, I'm fairly sure that we got Bill and others in there. I think I thought I sent you a invite to this.
I'm BCB. I should really change that. There we are.
Yeah, it says that you're.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I'm just. Yeah, there you go. Right. Found you.
Right.
Yeah. So that supposedly it should have hooked that up automatically, but it didn't. And anyway, there we go.
Okay.
So that's there, and so we're looking for it. So Ben's got a new ticket. Sorry that took a little bit while there. Let's go on there. So Bill, how are things going with you?
I'm still at the same stage I was yesterday. I've not been able to do anything on that.
Right.
Yet. But I'm basically what I was thinking was because I started actually looking at the tests in Cucumber. So all I was going to do was revert the my local branch here back to what it was when the Google sign-in didn't work.
Yep.
Run the tests, obviously see them all passing, then write a test where it fails.
Right.
And then obviously fix it and see if the test then passes, sort of thing. So you'd actually have a test to catch the failure.
Absolutely.
What happened last time, if I understand it correctly.
Totally, yeah. So this is background for other people. We were in a situation where the Google authentication was failing for sign up and login. Thanks to Bill's investigative work over the weekend, we downgraded a gem and we seem to be back in business there. But we are disturbed that our test suites didn't check or didn't manage to catch that issue. And so that's what Bill is looking at. So potentially anybody could join you in working on that, Bill?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I'm not actually ready to write anything because I'm still trying to get my head around the how the authentication bit works. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I mean, it's a research thing. I mean, but it could be helpful to have someone like
to ask questions.
Well, just the two of you bang your heads together on the same thing and sort of Socratic dialogue backwards and forwards. But yeah, so you kind of go on the.
I mean, once I know got my head around this, I'll drop something in Slack if someone wants to help me work on it. Yeah.
Sure. All right. So that's good. We know where Bill is. Federico, how are things with you?
So I just have a couple things. What I mentioned in the Scrum, the Kindex Scrum, is that when you start an event, you get this 500 internal error when you actually like save the link.
Right. Now, I'll just note, thank you so much for putting that into the waffle. That's fantastic. I've been starting events all day and not encountering that same problem. I noticed that you're on Chrome, which I think is the same as me. And so, yeah, that is highly weird. But thank you so much for adding it to the board there.
Right, and so it's when you update these two right here. And
right. Yeah. Or at least you encountered it when you update those things. Although,
right,
I haven't been getting them. Go on.
I mean, so I noticed that. Well, let me just ask: is this the same error that Robert was getting, or is that?
Well, this is the annoying thing about the lack of error reporting that we have at the moment is we don't know. When the difference that we do know is that when Robert was doing it, it was not pinging Slack. You're reporting that you get this error, but it still pings Slack, right?
So is this a result of like your fix that you fixed?
Well, conceivably, it's difficult to know. What would be nice would be to get the stack trace that was associated that you encountered there, and so I think as well as investigating this, we kind of have to prioritize getting better error reporting. Somehow we either have to fix Airbrake or we have to try Sentry, which was Robert's recommendation. But at the moment, it's difficult to be able to. This could be as a result of the fix. It could just also be general performance issues. I was getting like intermittent performance issues of this kind. The way we have the site set up at the moment, with the way it queries the events and everything, means that it's running extremely inefficiently, and we're basically always pushing the memory limits on the Heroku box.
So I noticed you still haven't turned off the event on the front page.
No, that was one thing that I was talking about doing was turning that off. I ended up failing to do that, but that's something that could also be tried.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I noticed on let's see, December 8th,
That it got really fast? You thought the
That's
flight...
Friday. Yeah, I sent you a message, snapshot, whatever you did on December the 8th, because like for me, normally it takes like 6 seconds or something just to, and see right there, it's a lot faster even today.
Yeah, and I think that doesn't, it's not so surprising for me, because what happens is that and we can see from the charts, which I could bring up at some point, but basically the memory consumption increases, and then about once every 36 hours, Heroku restarts the instance, and the memory level is very low. During that period, I think the site performance is much better, and then gradually over time, it gets worse and worse and worse until it gets kind of catastrophic, and then it comes back down again. So,
I was gonna say, is that not a memory leak then somewhere?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's a memory leak, but it's also related to the rather inefficient mechanism, or I should say inefficient, the current setup. So we've tried various things to address this. I've got a load testing thing. We did upgrade certain gems, which I think improved the situation somewhat. But yeah, there's clearly some kind of memory leak somewhere along the line, which we can address either by trying to prevent the memory from leaking, or reduce the frequency with which the action that causes the memory to leak takes place, if that makes any sense.
Is it possible just to write a script that could do what Heroku does, but more often, say during the early hours or something? I don't know.
Yeah, conceivably. I mean, it's something that, you know, to be investigated. I just put their performance higher at 1 point. I mean, I guess we've got the general issue of performance. Yep, there's this memory leaks. I mean, in principle, yeah, you know, if it was restarted more frequently. The problem is that if you do restart more frequently, at the point that it gets restarted, the system goes offline for 5 minutes or whatever. And so
I didn't realize it was that long.
Well, or I don't know that it is necessarily that long, but that there's like a wake up period.
Yeah. But we could do it like if we had something on, like if we had a box on Azure with the Heroku CLI keys, we could potentially have a cron job that every day
that it rebooted it more frequently. Indeed. I guess what I'm tempted to do is, like, these two things are serious issues for our site that I'd definitely like to look into more today. What I'd like to do is maybe complete a pass of everybody here, just so we can get everything on the table, and then people who want to stay and focus on those things can stay, and other people can go and do other things. But yeah, Federico, was that was the two things that you wanted to report there?
Could I just add one more? I'm adding.
Please do.
I'm adding a ticket right now for basically StandUply, which is our new sponsor.
Oh yeah, okay.
We need to modify this to stand up bot. Stand up.
Okay, so there's a text change. So that's like a really good beginner-friendly ticket for somebody who.
Yes, and I'm adding that right now. So
that would be also please our sponsor. So that's great. Okay, there's a text change there. All right, so we can maybe get that voted on. Maybe once you've created the ticket, Federico, you could start an ASAP vote.
Okay, I just did that. Yeah.
In the channel, wonderful. So let's go on to Gail. Gail, now, so I think you've been able to get set up with the Website One system, is that right?
Yeah. Managed to get it up and running. No permission.
Fantastic. And so you're looking for a ticket to work on, is that right?
I'm still refreshing my mind actually. I'm in my email on Google Works, and then I think by next week I'll be able to pick a ticket, and I just want to understand how things work around these meetups.
Okay.
So I get to know everything.
There's a lot of background noise that's making it difficult for me to understand. What I think you said was you're just kind of, maybe this week you're kind of looking and understanding how's going on, and maybe next week you'll take on a ticket. Is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that was my. I wasn't sure for the background noise, but that's absolutely fine. So yeah, do you have any questions or concerns that we can answer right now about the project and how it operates?
No, nothing. Up to now, nothing.
All right, fantastic. Well, don't hesitate to reach out in Slack or what have you, or you know, join any Kent Beck or Martin Fowler Scrum. Let's go on now to Michael. I think you're planning to work on the this is the like requiring login for the premium members. Anything else on your mind as regards the project?
No.
All right. And then we also have. Oh, go on.
Do we have a? I think we have a ticket in for improving the upgrade, the data retention on the upgrade when someone upgrades or changes their subscription.
Possibly.
It's ticket 1987.
Okay.
We can put on that.
Is that one you'd like to get voted on?
Yeah, I think it's also. I think there's a ticket I had in for the same thing, and then you replicated it. 1977 too.
Okay. Well, maybe
same ticket.
Cool. But maybe you could consolidate those tickets and start an async vote in the website one channel, and then it'll sort of be hanging there, and we can come to it all together at the end.
Okay.
Cool. Excellent. All right. So that's now we've got Will as well, and I guess you're just sort of like along for the ride. Anything particularly of concern for you for the site or the project, Will?
Yeah, I've just gone to report a problem.
Oh yeah.
And on Waffle, right? I'm signing into Waffle to do that.
Oh yeah.
But Waffle wants write access to all of my public repositories, which doesn't seem proportional.
Right.
So I would prefer a different way, either that fixed or prefer a different way to report an issue.
Sure. Well, I think I can easily provide the different way is that you don't have to use Waffle. You can just use the GitHub issues. So if you open a GitHub issue on website one, it will appear automatically in Waffle.
Okay, and then so my what I was going to say about that was that the documents don't guide you to do that, to use GitHub issues. So
yes.
That's just something that, in the README.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good documentation on how to report issues.
It's not. I mean, yeah. Someone with initiative would just try the issues out and see if it broke, I suppose.
But yeah, absolutely. No, it's the kind of thing that we could have flagged in various places that the issues can be reported by. This is the mechanism. Yes, I think great suggestion. Yeah. Anything else to mention? Was the issue? Was there an issue that you were going to open through this mechanism that is then you also want to mention?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to just open it, but it's just a small thing in the title of the page. It says website one, which I think is an internal name for the website.
Right. Indeed, right. Which is, I mean, I think we have the problem. Partly, the website one is not a very revealing name about what the system is. But yes, remove from page title. Cool. Which could also be a good beginner-friendly ticket.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, so I think that's everybody covered. We get back to me. I think all of the things that the things that I'm most concerned about are here. I guess that actually I'll just mention what I would love to be working on the most in some ways is a framework for private events, because a lot of the sustainability of Agile Ventures comes from running the face-to-face mobbing sessions and so on that at the moment don't have much support. And although the events are kind of in the system as public events, that can actually be confusing for people who want to try and join them and so on. So it's the ticket was started by Corey, and then he's dropped out. And yeah, I'm working on a private project now, not private project, working on this paid project for the Anthony Powell Society, which is sucking up my morning blog-driven developments. But yes, as soon as I've got that out of the way, and probably this thing here, this is really what I want to get working so that hopefully that can drive, make it simpler for both the people attending those private events to get access to the videos, to the Hangout links, make it easier for the people who are starting the private events and so on, without having to like navigate to Slack to particular channels and so on. Anyway, the other thing I'm hoping to pair with on Sigu maybe is to get our Jitsi boxes working on Azure. But so I guess we've got a couple of things then that we should go ahead and vote on, and then I'd say the highest priority things are these two, addressing the component errors and the performance issues. Let's take a breather there and go over to the website one channel and get some of these things voted on. Some of the people have already voted. Here we go. Oh gosh, I drag that. Oh, let's just do. Come on, previous. Is it that one? Here it is. Maximize it. Okay, so we've got there. The first one from Federico is a vote on changing the stand-up text in the footer to stand-up bot. It's just a cosmetic text change. Then we've got another one here, which is retain subscription history on upgrade or cancellation. So I think we can probably all go ahead and vote on the first one. Michael, do you just want to tell us a little bit about the second ticket to inform our voting process?
Sure. So basically we have in the website one project, we have a subscription model which has a table, and when someone has a subscription, they currently have the one subscription right now, and when they come through the controller and they change that subscription, say they're going from premium to premium mob, it simply just overwrites the type of subscription that is associated with them, and just totally loses the fact that they were premium for say 3 months and then became, premium mob. So ideally, what it would do is it would basically say that premium subscription ended on such and such date, and then create a new model, a new subscription, premium plus or premium mob, and then associate that with the user.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. That's very helpful.
So that we would have one source of truth about people's premium subscription history.
Yep.
So potentially everybody could have multiple subscriptions associated with them in their history.
Indeed. I'll just mention that my ticket here, rather than a replication of yours, is actually something slightly different. This relates to, we had a user who did upgrade from premium to premium mob, but rather than using the upgrade to premium mob button, they just went to the page where they can sign up for premium mob. So they ended up with premium mob and premium.
Oh, that's, okay.
So that's something slightly different, but that reflects that I've failed to articulate that in my ticket. So I don't know what I can say here. So some users will not hit. I guess while I'm typing this out, does anybody have any questions about Michael's explanation of this ticket?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Yeah, this is. Oh, go on, Bill.
Include downgrades as well. Is that possible? I'm assuming that's.
Yes, I think we would like the same. We would like the same functionality. Is that when somebody downgrades, we would like that to be recorded rather than just like
downgrade cancellation.
Yeah, rather than it being represented in the database as that person never had premium face-to-face or premium mob status. We would like it to just, we'd like to have an accurate history of, the person was premium from this period to this period, premium mob from this period to this period, and then premium from this period to this period. I think the database reflecting reality as much as possible is ideal. And so this all affects logic in the subscriptions controller and how things work there. I think the database representation should be all right for it, but it will require some logic, and then there's various testing associated with it. So unless there's anything more to discuss about that one, we could just go ahead and vote on that in the channel. That's the latest one there.
Okay.
All right. So it looks like we've got lots of people voting on that. If anyone can do the reveal there if they want to, and I think we've also feel free, Gail and Will, to feel free to vote on the previous issue as well. So that's been revealed, and we've got a consensus for medium, but Bill is mentioning hard there. We'd have this sort of thing of putting the minority on the spot. Sorry about that, Bill. What was motivating your thinking of hard rather than medium for this ticket?
Well, I just see this as involving quite a few different steps.
Mm-hmm.
You got the database aspect
mm-hmm.
to look at, and possibly maybe, I don't know, modify in some way, maybe depending on how you want to actually. Cause, I mean, well, I look at this as you could possibly approach this in a number of different ways, and then obviously you got the controller aspect of checking.
Mm-hmm.
So I just see quite a few different moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
But in particular, database, and how do you want to actually record the history? Do you want to? I mean, if someone cancels, do you want to create a different table where you could record the cancellation and when they come to reapply, or when someone joins, do you always check this table to see have they been a member in the past? Do you want to record it in some other means, some other way? That's the only reason why I say it's hard, because different people, I'm guessing, would approach it in different ways.
Absolutely.
That's the only reason.
Yes. No, that makes perfect sense. I guess the thing that I'm now trying to show you, which I'm being prevented from because I've accidentally closed part of the. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so I think you're absolutely right about that. And if we were starting this from scratch, it would very much be the case that we would kind of need to consider all those things. As it happens, I think we already have a database schema that supports the range of things that we need, in that we have a subscriptions table, and we have a sort of a start of that and end of that for that, and then we have like a plan ID. So each subscription, we've already got the data representation that can say, okay, this person was premium from Wednesday to Thursday, and that's there as a single record, and then we can have another one subscription right from another start end to another start end date. So I think all the database, I might be wrong, there might be some corner cases that we don't handle well, but I think superficially we've got the database structure in place, and I think it's just the logic that we need to change, so that at the moment we've got like an upgrade, there's an update path here, and we've got this upgrade. Also, it only works for Stripe at the moment and not for PayPal, which is annoying. But so if we look here, what it does at the moment is that it basically grabs the customer's existing subscription, and then it kind of like basically knocks it out with a new one. I guess we would also have to look at how it represents it, because maybe it doesn't knock it out, but it doesn't set the end date on the previous one and so on. So I think the key thing is that it's the logic in here that should change, and test to make sure that it works for the different circumstances. But I think probably not a database change.
Just point of clarification, it's that you're saying that because it's already possible to associate a person with multiple subscriptions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, although I think we don't do it right now. But
yeah, we don't. I think that this logic. Well, it's interesting because we've got these different. No, right. Yeah. So sorry, I was getting confused here. So these 4 lines here, this is all changing stuff on Stripe. But so it's confusing because we've got like there's a Stripe subscription which we get from a Stripe customer, and they have their own bounded context of the word like what the words there are being used for them, and then we have our own context. So this is like Stripe record keeping. This is what actually causes the charges to change here. These methods are actually going out and hitting the Stripe API and making changes in the Stripe system. And then we have here, what it does is it takes the user's existing subscription and it changes the plan. Whereas I think what we're saying that what we'd like to do is we'd like to do user, and create like a subscription. We do like subscription create or build,
and also put in that plan ended.
Yeah, so like
but don't destroy it.
Rather than like, certainly not
overwrite it.
Right, that's what we're doing at the moment. Is that the start of that date remains the same, but it also makes it look like if the person upgrades from premium to premium mob, it makes it look like they've been premium mob from the original date. So yeah.
And then the other thing is someone mentioned downgrades, but we don't actually have an automated system in place for that as of right now, right?
No, which would be another feature to add. You
would have to do that manual record keeping.
Yeah, at the moment, and it would certainly, as we get to scale, like it would be good for people to have complete. I would like ultimately to put people in complete control of it. It's just a question of, priorities. So Bill, based on that discussion, would you be?
Yeah, I'd be happy then just to call it medium.
Call it medium, excellent.
I just thought it was more involved.
Yeah, no, well,
obviously, since it doesn't appear to be.
And so that's exactly what the planning poker sort of voting strategy that we're doing there is to expose those assumptions and to that. So,
may I just talk through what I'm thinking about it?
Please, Will.
So it seems that saying whether somebody was previously a premium or previously not is a fancier thing than just saying what their status is right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to make sure that the logic to do the fancier thing is not mixed up with the logic to do the simpler thing. So that if the fancier thing, so that you know that the simpler thing will work always.
And
I just don't. All I don't know is that how your code is already structured or not.
Well, and I think at the moment there's the code for working out and displaying your current status is completely independent. There may be an issue there in that we've got the way in which we look at this is to do with the models. So we've got the user who at the moment, do we have any mention of them having a Control F subscription? At the moment we have it set up to be has one subscription. And the subscription belongs to a user. So I guess arguably, let's go back to the schema. I wonder if what are the relations? But we have it set up so we have where the subscription's gone. Subscriptions. They have a user ID and user. I guess we've got.
We're gonna have to basically. Wherever we display their premium status, we'll probably need to do a query or have a method that basically says, get the latest subscription.
That's right. I think so. We've got currently it says has one, but we'll need to switch that to has
many.
Many. But the database, the foreign keys are in the right setup so that we can have many. But yeah, when we
we'll need to do a query of the right type, and that can probably be a model level method or something.
Absolutely.
A scope or something in Active Record.
Yep. Okay. Good show. So yeah, I think that's definitely very medium and may shade into hard, but good to have had that discussion. So we've got medium. We've got. So what I've also done in the background, what I'd love to do with Async Voter is set it up so that it could reach in and automatically set the value on Waffle. I've done that manually, and I've moved the thing into the estimated column. I'll actually put that in. I think we're agreed that that's probably ready to start working on. There's an idea that in some ways that the the ready column is organized so that higher priority things are at the top. That's so that we're not being hugely consistent about that. But it's great to have so many people here offering to work on things. I was also going to put the record of the vote into that. But yeah, I think we've got all of our votes on the previous item as well. I don't know if somebody wants to hit reveal on that.
So I guess inside.
I will.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Okay.
And that seems to be, yeah, we've got a fairly consistent simple there. I mean, that would be the other thing is that I'd love the async voter to like kind of record all of these things in the background. But so, yeah, that's this one, and that's a high priority. And so let me drag that also to the top of the ready column. So, yeah, there we go. So I think that's our voting. I guess the two other high priorities are we've got that. I think I already have a ticket about, yeah, this. I guess I'm going to propose a vote on this. You know, this ticket here, which is about trying to work out why Airbrake is not reporting on our 500 errors, which is turning to be a real bleed. I think 500 errors not reported. And perhaps I will rephrase it into, I don't care if it's Airbrake telling us about them or not. We need something to be reliably reporting on our errors. And then there's the performance issue. So like, can we get good reporting for 500 errors? Does anybody have any questions about this issue?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Airbrake. Does this capture HTTP errors?
In principle, Airbrake and other systems like it, like Sentry, will capture any error that occurs on the server. So like the 500 is the HTTP code for a kind of a server error, and it's kind of like we've kind of given up. There was basically an error that just wasn't handled. Yeah. And as I understand it, these are precisely the errors that Airbrake's supposed to be letting us know about. I feel like it's either the Airbrake configuration is wrong, or there is some custom 500 error handling that's supposed to send us emails that I don't seem to come through, that are getting in the way of doing it. So, you know, it's sort of an investigation of like, okay, let's look at Airbrake. It's a ticket that's complicated because you do need to have admin access to like a Heroku instance. I'll certainly happy to get people immediate access to the develop and staging instances if they haven't got them already. We were more cautious about giving people access to the production instance, but you know, happy to do that for people who are consistently contributing to the project.
I got a question about this. Has Airbrake ever reported any 500 errors, or
yes.
is it just these specific ones that are not being caught?
It does report them, and we can see it's actually set up and we can see that we get there's 4 Airbrake errors in the backlog there, but none of them appear to be Rails errors. They're all sort of, from our point of view, somewhat esoteric errors. There's like a PostgreSQL error. There's a SIG term. I think these are, now what are these?
But these have resulted in 500 status from the H.
Well, I don't think. I think the majority, like, for example, if we look at this error here, this has been like our Karma calculation task that's been running in the background has failed, and that's sort of a background task that would not have led to a 500 error for somebody in the site, as far as I can tell. This is this task, you know, kind of like going on, but it reruns every day, and that, you know, this is, you know, that was like October the 19th. It just so happened that died at one point, and it's not clear why, and it's not clear that there was any negative side effect associated with it. But yeah, very much what I very, very specifically have had is, so like last week, Robert of Runfunk encountering the 500 error. This week, Federico. I mean, I think particularly people like Robert and Federico, who are, you know, working hard to contribute to the site, and the 500 error is a, you know, like a bit of a slap in the face to like what's going on here. the fact that I'm not getting reports from Airbrake about these kinds of errors is extremely frustrating. In particular, I mean, I've reached out to Airbrake to ask them about, are we doing something wrong with our configuration? And I've got some notes there about what they said to us about they think there may be something weird about our timeouts on there. So I've kind of done poking around with this in the past, but more, I mean, probably it's the kind of thing like if I could clear 2 hours and just focus on it, if we could clear 2 hours or 3 hours to look at it with people who've got the appropriate permissions, then I imagine we could get to the bottom of it. Yeah. But any other questions about it before we vote on it?
Nope.
All right. So please go ahead and vote, and we can get this into the, kind of ready column and bump up the priority. I'm just going to look if we have, while those votes are going in, the other key issue that we've got is performance. Which I can't find any for. I guess I also, so we've got an existing, so we've got an existing ticket for this is like 500 errors. It's an ongoing working thing. I did upgrade some gems. I did some performance testing. There's been some improvement, but so I don't think we need another vote on that. I think we've got everybody voted on this, the 500 errors. Let's reveal that. We've got a kind of majority for medium. Will and Ben are saying hard. Ben, what makes you think it's hard rather than medium?
Well, I just think it seems to be a not a very well-defined problem that involves third-party software.
Yeah.
And so not only are you going to have to chase down things that you don't know how to find yet, but it might even be the case that you have to communicate with somebody again about what's going on. That's, in my experience, it's been the case that if you have some kind of third-party software that isn't working, and it might be your code, it might be something they did, it might be, then it's not only a challenge from the engineering side, but also from the sort of business communication side. That's why I said it might be hard.
You're convincing me. Does anybody who feels strongly about medium in the face of Ben's suggestion?
Me, I personally don't. That was very well put. I haven't actually thought about communicating with the other side, but I just see this as a configuration problem.
And I think you're absolutely right, Bill. It is a configuration problem, but yes, it's one of those ones that might get really tricky.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I guess unless anybody objects, I'm going to put this down as hard, having been swayed by Ben's points there.
Run for office.
And I think I'm going to, even in the background here, I'm just going to open a branch and try and upgrade the Airbrake gem, which I thought we'd already done, but I'm going to assign myself to that. I guess what we should just do is, does anybody want to assign themselves to any of the tickets? For myself, these two trying to address the performance issue and the 500 error logging are I'm going to try and see how much I can get done on there. Can
I just say I wanted to do that easy one just so I can go through the whole process of submitting something and then
totally.
It seems easy.
Well, no, I mean the one where you change the text.
Yeah. So we could definitely put that's a great now why am I not finding Bill in there?
The boy Mo.
Yeah. So there we go.
That's the one.
There you are. Yeah, and of course, Ben, you could be pairing with him on that if you were.
Yeah, I'd be willing to. Yeah, I have just recently experienced going through the process and and it was sort of agonizing, mostly because of things that I didn't think of, and not because of the process itself. So I can maybe share my recently.
Well, let me read through the docs on contributing, and there's another doc there I think has to do that as well, doesn't there? Isn't there?
There's certainly contributing MD.
And then the setup doc is the initial one. You gotta
That one I've done.
Presumably, yeah, you've probably got it running already.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's I guess the other one you're talking about is the one that's specifically about pull requests.
That was probably one I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a subsection in the contributing.md, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there is maybe also legacy documentation. Contributing MD should be the one that has all the relevant information. Okay. And Michael, you were talking about what you were working on. I guess we've now voted on the thing that you wanted to work on, or no? Oh, this was the one here, the requiring login for premium members. So you want to self-assign yourself to that, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I think we've got some good work done there. I guess the one thing to come back to is the performance issue, where we were having a discussion, which I kind of cut off to kind of go through and cover everything else. Does anybody want to say anything further on the?
Hello?
Sam, I think you cut out there a little bit. Does anyone want to say anything further on
the performance issue?
Me, no.
No. Well, hopefully, I guess the way to go is, yeah, let's get the 500 errors thing sorted, and that will hopefully maybe give us more intelligence about where these problems are coming from, and if they're performance ones. I guess maybe I should try turning that events on the homepage off. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's great to see everyone here. Thanks so much. I guess I will pop these notes in the.
There was one more thing I wanted to bring up related to the issue I was just working on.
Oh yeah.
Which is the idea that I came up against some legacy stuff that's being superseded, and it really is the kind of thing that was annoying me the whole time, and it made it take about 5 times longer than it otherwise have taken, because I sort of had to preserve this fiction that there's this GitHub URL thing, whereas in fact now it's just been moved to its own table, because you can have more than one, and the work on that needs to be completed. It needs to sort of be extracted from the entire application. And the thing is, I think it represents a certain amount of technical debt, because if there's another issue like this that needs to be worked on again, it's going to be the same sort of drag on efficiency, which was fairly extreme, maybe partially because of my inexperience, but I think that should at least be an issue, because it needs to be done, and maybe it already is. I didn't make an exhaustive search.
Yeah, no, I totally take your point on that. We do also create, from time to time, we create refactoring tickets that it doesn't look to me like that one is existing. This is to do with the GitHub URL name. Yeah, so we've got an option there in that we could create a refactoring ticket, or we could conceivably do refactoring as part of the review of the pull request.
That would make it a much bigger thing. I mean, that would.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that you would have to do that. But like, for example, now that the pull request is in,
yeah.
For example, someone else can come in as part of the review and could make that change. But I guess probably the thing to do sensibly is create the refactoring ticket either way. Yeah, so I think I'll just go ahead and do that. So refactor GitHub URL. I would say that I think in this case that actually, rather than removing the method, is that we should rename it to something like primary repository or whatever.
Well, it's called from all over the place, and it's all over the tests, and there are these sort of gyrations that have to be done in order to pretend that it's still there and stuff. So.
Absolutely. Indeed. So I mean, and so the other thing actually, I was reading an article recently that was saying that actually, one should never remove old legacy data from the tables. I I think you should. It's certainly a good idea to leave them there for a while until you're sure that the thing that you're working on's got settled in.
I see.
But yeah, I think it would make our system easier to use in future. So this is on the projects table, and so the field should be removed, and the method relabeled to something like primary repository.
Well, because what I actually did was a little more complicated than I would have liked, because I had to check to see if the URL field was nil, which I don't think could ever actually happen, and we probably want to validate against that.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, we're getting to.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think I'll try and give you a review ASAP, and we can get more into the associated refactoring and cleanup. Good show. Okay, great. Well, thanks everyone. I hope you liked the new Wednesday meeting. So great to have so many people here. I think we should end the meeting, and I look forward to seeing everybody same time next weekend. But of course, anyone can come anytime into any of the Martin Fowler Kent Beck Scrums, and just if you're stuck on anything, you can ask for help and support. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye for now. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Or morning, or middle of the night, depending on how you are.